Am I late? Yes, I am. How are we all? Yes, Eddie, I'm late. I'm sorry. We're having a multitasking August. It's a bit like that, isn't it? How are we all doing? Okay, for those of you that don't know, I'm covering the astrology. I've got the rest of this month down because, yes, we're still dealing with energy that's quite heavy. We've got Aries and Chiron retrograde. We had Uranus go retrograde as well. Ooh, interesting ruin. I am going to be pulling a few cards, but I'm going to give you guys an update as to what's coming through astrologically. Now, I did mention towards the end of the month, we would have an ability to integrate things, maybe have a bit more frequency to be able to deal with some of the arduous tasks. A lot of it can be financial. It can be financial situations going on. It can be spiritual connections, subjects to that degree coming up, where connections are going. Because from a collective level, we do have seventh house placement. So because we have Venus and Cancer at the moment, a lot of things to do with feminine energies. Pluto retrograde links to grandmother and mother energy. Moon energy relates to mother, and the sun energy relates to father. So plus, because Venus is in Cancer, it's a lot of family-related dynamics. So with that, what you're going to find is Aries and Chiron retrograde. It's, yes, first house placements, great. But at the same time, it's also, think about the zodiac sign of Cancer. Emotions run deep. Add that into the element of Venus, marriages, contracts, partnerships, past, present, future, which, as Albert Einstein said, there is none of that. It's all interlinked. What you get is a highly volatile emotional energy. So people that actually have a frequency to deal with their emotions more effectively, sometimes it can be very poker face energy. You know, the crab does have a hard shell. It's got strong nips. So yes, it's gonna lash out if environmental energy is an issue. Cancer is fourth house placement. It's home. So a lot of subjects to do with home are coming up. Family, tribe energy, past, present, future, finances leaking to that, where we're going to go, Neptune and Pisces. Subjects to do with having a huge reality check. Now, it's not making major aspects, but it's giving you enough oomph to actually look at it and go, okay, is this an alignment? Is this working? What needs to change? Where was I delusional, connected to love, career, finances, whatever that be? Plus the psychology, and at the moment there's real large energy of psychology coming up. So people maybe that are feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, with the 12th house, it's deeply psychic. So you'll have massive downloads. Leo energy is third eye as well, and you might be trying to condition it to a point. It's got to look like the 3D. So both your cognitive ability of seeing something and the reality of what the direct situation is can be complete polar opposites. So it can be very distorted at the moment. Another thing I'm getting as well with the sun energy, it's very masculine orientated. It's sun energy, but you will be inclined to get headaches, maybe not sleeping as well, having a little bit of distortion in your sleeping pattern, overactive mind. The nodes being in Gemini are there as well, so that's creating an overload of information. And again, with Pluto being retrograde, because we have eighth house placement, we're really looking at what needs to come to an end. So in any retrograde effect, things tend to come towards you to show you the cracks and situations. So we've got Saturn retrograde, we've got Jupiter retrograde, Uranus, Neptune. So all of those polarities we're looking at is really showing where we've got to do that quality control in areas. And it's just very burdensome. So, people are trying to do their best. We're also, because we have the inner child wounds, because Cancer is inner child wounds linking to family, conditioning, co-creative energy. We're just very fatigued from that frequency. Now, I did notice in the past few days, the Schumann resonance has dropped. I don't know why I'm getting this vibe. It's probably going to spike. We have adjusted to an element of Mars going retrograde. It's going retrograde on the 9th, but you'll start getting that about now. So don't be surprised if you do feel a little bit more fatigued, but I'm hoping that because we had Aries and Chiron, that we've adjusted to the fatigue level. We've had that overwhelm. We've had the ahas and maybe some tower moments, and we've gone, okay, Now this is the deal, looking at the stark reality, what do we need to do to move forward? So some of us might have already adjusted to that, and some energies that are deeply spiritual and you've been working on your aura and things to that degree, what you'll find is you would have already integrated, you will be more in tune to the astrology. So you'll tend to pick up on a transit prior to it occurring. And I was saying to giggle, with some of the things that I've been working through at a 3D level, I'm hoping to goodness you guys don't have to, because it's been very, very busy. So with the busy energy and having to multitask, it does develop you, but at the same time, you know, it can really wear you out. And on top of it, you'll feel very, oh my gosh, I need to sleep, but the mind is going at 100 miles an hour. So during the transit with the nodes, I highly recommend, because it's Mercury energy and it is linked to our communication, its movement, its local energy. We've got the nodes in Gemini for 2.5 years. It can also be an overload of information. So with that overload of information, you're going to have time out. Maybe even a high suggestion would be, if you've got a lot of tasks on hand that you need to get done, jotting them down, similar to in 2017 where everything was coming at us with the Pisces energy, and really, you know, just work through it. It's all you can do. It might be a big burden. Masculines and feminines at the moment in the yin and yang, there's been emotions coming up collectively, and that, you know, I'm going to talk about this from a collective perspective because it affects all of us. So in the polarities of male, female, yin, yang, there has been a lot of karma coming towards every human being. So it's been the burdens, the responsibility, the emotional connection to things, how we can balance the give and take, 8th house placement, who's with us, who's not, who's working with us, who isn't. It can also be looking at your employment. It can be looking at your family-related dynamic, you know, proximity, home. So a lot of people are going through this very confusing state of how to bring it all together, and it's having to happen in a very short space of time. The other energy that's coming up, let's have a look. Okay, psychology. The reason I mention psychology is because we do have our position in situations with Aries and Chiron collectively. It's the 1st house placement collectively, and Neptune and Pisces in the 12th house of psychology. So if you're at a higher frequency as a human being, you're going to be able to look at maybe the area of your ways, maybe not seeing something correctly, gaining that information through this transit, and then shifting course and taking the bull by the horns to effectively correct things. Other people that don't have that ability inside them, and there could be codependency, there could be victim consciousness, perpetrator energy, they're going to be more on the distorted side of the fence, and it can be very aggressive in nature and very psychological in nature. So you need to keep that in mind when it does come to that frequency. And I will pull a card for the higher and a card for the lower, and I'm also going to pull per element. Which card should I use? How are we all doing anyway? Okay, so the 19th, yes, we do have the new moon in Leo. An interesting subject come up this week, and it was to do with manifestation. And the more I've been in the realm of spirituality, I've come to understand that there's no need to manifest everything theoretically that universe believes that you are deserving of will come into alignment. When you are fixated in a fear-based frequency, which we all jump into, what tends to happen is we're actually always manifesting because we're directly looking outside of ourselves. If it is outside of ourselves, we can ask our guides, we can be in detachment, and we allow the natural flow of things to come and doors will open. When you're fixated and you're manifesting, you can get, it's a bit like magic, okay? And I'm telling you from my experience, you will accidentally manifest it in. If the fruit is not ripe, there can be other elements that come in. It's a bit like being channeling energy, being psychic, and being under the influence. You will get both light and dark energy because your auric field is diminished to a degree. So yes, you'll be able to do certain things, but you'll also usher in accidentally 4D energy. So it's really You know, number synchronicities and things to that degree, the reason you see them is due to the fact that you have not completely integrated yet. You're upgrading. While you're going through that process, you know, self-manage. So when it comes up, what you need to do is acknowledge it. Check in with yourself. It will link to you sometimes on a soul contract, but it will always link to your side of the fence as well. Once you're in huge alignment, hi, Dale, you will get to a point before you see the numbers, before you see the animal totems, you will have already known it. And you'll, you know, like a beautiful friend of mine said, you know, wanting to get a restraining order against numbers. It's because you've integrated that and you're trusting in the inner knowing. So you're allowing things to flow like Mother Nature and the earth the way it's supposed to grow. I hope you're following me. So the new moon in Leo, yes, it is a time you could manifest, but there's still things being shifted around. Now, for each zodiac sign, yes, there is a, hi Dale, there is the energy of strength. There is the energy also, unfortunately, of ego. And with the masculine and feminine polarity in the collective, and I'm not just going to tap into twin flames, I'm talking at the moment connected to all individuals. We will have the mind and the bravery to be able to achieve things. You are going to feel a little bit stronger. We're going to have on the 19th as well, Pluto squaring Lilith. Now, what does this mean? Squaring aspects, it's challenges, okay? So it can be tension, action, reaction, emotional earthquake, and I can't even say the word. So what you tend to find is with Pluto, it's 8th house placement. So with 8th house placement, it's marriages, contracts, partnerships, shared resources coming into effect because we still do have Venus and Cancer. Looking at those things, facing our shadow and understanding the hard truth of what is and what isn't. And if it isn't, having to accept that factor and coming to terms with it. So again, something may be coming towards you. And again, Pluto energy, because it is 8th house placement, it can be paperwork related dynamics. It can be finances. It can be energy of the past where you're owing, things to that degree, taxation, things to that degree can be coming up. But facing whatever it is, it potentially can't be changed. Looking at it, trying to resolve it and working through it. It's a hard aspect, but it's challenges, but it can be dealt with. It's just try and be patient on the 19th. For me, I'm at the 19th. So both with the strength to do it with the Leo moon energy, try not to be in a place of ego. Try to be fluid. The floor is lava. And also just look at anything you need to deal with and go through the fine print. Keep walking forward. Now, on the 20th, we're going to be having Mercury entering Virgo. So with Mercury entering Virgo, you'll find your communication. I'm hearing the term the devil in the detail. If there's things that you need to understand, comprehend, bring together, or articulate, you will find it will flow more effectively. Also, in your day-to-day routine, what you're going to find is, because Mercury is a direct locational energy, if you're having to run about and get things done, again, Virgo is a perfectionist. I mean, I love you guys, but you're so hard on yourselves. I wish you weren't so mean to yourselves. Maybe needing to also delegate tasks, but it could be that you could be very, very busy on that day. So be it you're running around, you're cleaning the house, you're getting things in order, trying to compile paperwork, bring everything in. Make sure you understand that the 20th will be incredibly busy. This could be very active with communication as well. Healing old wounds, Aries and Chiron retrograde, Virgo energy, health-related energy, wanting to communicate so that you can understand the other person's point of view. Virgo also does link to health, which is 6th house placement, health, pets, and things to that degree. So don't be surprised if subjects to do with health, subjects to do with work. Leo energy can be heart and aorta energy from a spiritual, holistic chakra point of view. So if you do have heavy Leo placements and you do have ailments to that degree, keep an eye on it. If you need to go to the doctors, go to the doctors. Don't second guess it, because it is very heavy energy when it relates to that. Also, headaches and eyesight. You can find themes can come up. Plus, we've got Virgo energy there. So really paying attention to it, not letting things go by the wayside, going to seek that if you feel you need it. Again, I'm not a medical practitioner. Seeking the people you need. This can even be counselling and things to that degree and networking. Now, on the 22nd, this is funny because Giggle and I were talking about this. Mars is not fun, okay? We're saying it. Yes, to a degree, it's a little bit like it's the masculine polarity of us, which it does directly connect from masculines. It also puts the fire in your belly, but we currently have Aries in Chiron. I keep saying this. You guys are going to like, stop talking about Aries and Chiron. Aries and Chiron is the wounded healer. First house placement, ability for you to work through your wounds and see where some of them have been adversely affecting your ability to move forward or deal with situations. Now, again, this will be from a communication standpoint. So what you're going to find is on the 22nd, there might be a trigger, but it's sextiling. So for each zodiac sign, wherever that Aries placement is, I mean, the next video I will be doing is per zodiac sign. I'm hoping to God I can get this all done because we're in the shadow of Mars at the moment, where I'm either going to do by element and talk about the Mars attributes, pull a few cards, and discuss the aspects of what's going to happen in that retrograde effect. We'll leave that for a conversation piece after the video. So Mars is going to be sextiling the nodes in Gemini. So again, Gemini is Mercury energy. It's communication. It's also, it can be activating some of the wounds because it's sextiling is positive. You will have the tools to be able to deal with BS, adversity, conflict, miscommunication. You will be able to find the words, okay? Again, you'll have the strength to get things done. It's sextiling. Oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. So positively, yes, on the 22nd, it's benefiting you. It can give you an oomph of energy to get these things done because many of you may be extremely fatigued. It's going to lighten up to a degree, but it's going to be go, go, go. And you're really guided to, I know it's hard, guys, but please follow my advice. Keep going. It will be harder later. I know you're fatigued, and I don't like saying this. This was a thing that my twin used to say, and it's a song. I'll sleep when I die. It's like, get it done. Rest where you can, self-manage, look after yourself, do the very best you can. Don't be hard on yourself, but just try and get the 3D tasks done. Take a breather, forgive yourself for maybe being short and things to that degree. It's just a very frustrating time at the moment, astrologically. Thanks, sweet. Okay. Now, on the 24th, we're having Mars squaring Saturn. Again, I will say squaring aspects are challenges. They're dynamic aspects. So this can be huge tension. It can be actions, reactions. We deem it as emotional earthquakes. This is the way this chart's describing it. So things coming up. Now, Saturn is the father figure of the universe. Again, it's in Capricorn. It can relate to, you know, leveling up, you having to correct things. It's in a retrograde effect at the moment. It'll be going direct next month. So pre-warned, forearmed. Jupiter also will be going direct, as well as Mars will be going retrograde. So we're kind of held in position and then bang, we're moving forward. So if you're not tackling these things that are coming at you, it's going to all catch up with you. You know, you're going to have to pay the ferryman. So the squaring aspects of this, your emotions potentially and your strength, it can be difficult because it's a big burden. So something can become very visual to you, what the burden is that simply isn't working. It's almost like irreconcilable differences. It's like this, just even if I lie to myself, I can't do it. So again, with Saturn energy, with you physically, with your strength or with your ability of having to tackle so many things, there may be a situation that comes up that you're unable to deal with on that day that is difficult. Now, it's not saying you can't. It can show you cracks in the foundation. It could be a tower moment. It can be something you're looking at and going, good grief, I don't think I can fix this right now. Having to usher somebody else in, maybe even with the Saturn element, talking to somebody in a higher ranked position And because we have the Venus energy there with Cancer, for a lot of people collectively, this can be contracts, because it's marriages, contracts, partnerships. And at the Capricorn level, having to talk to somebody at a more professional level to assist you with the viewpoint and the situational ship. Okay? Lunch break. Enjoy. And don't detox off caffeine that fast, lady. Beautiful. Okay, 25th, we have Venus in Cancer in opposition to Jupiter in Capricorn. Now, marriages, contracts, partnerships, emotions, family, your feelings, your home. In opposition, again, it's challenging aspects to Jupiter. Unable to move forward. Now, it creates contrast, effort, precision, stress. It's you've just got to keep working through it. So in order to, if you're wanting to move forward, if you're wanting to create balance, if you're wanting to, develop your finances, your wealth, or move, whatever that be, because Jupiter connects to long distance, Mercury, which is Gemini, links to close proximity. It's more local area. You might be looking at that energy coming up. Jupiter energy, even though it's in Capricorn, it still relates to Sagittarius. So it can be, again, your religious beliefs, school, education, travel, where you want to be. Again, the tension connecting to, it's a bit like chucking a bunch of people in a room that are coming from, and this is really touchy right now, I'm in the collective, but expecting everyone to agree upon a situation when they all have differing views, and you're trying to integrate it somehow. So it's the messiness of the situation, but problem solving, moving forward, trying to get to that space where you can move through that adversity and those challenges. But you will have the tools on the 25th. So the positive days are the 22nd and the 25th. From a perspective on the 25th, you're going to have the ability to deal with things. We have Mercury in Virgo, which again, being able to communicate, being able to achieve certain things, perfecting, neatening things up. And again, with Cancer there, you might be finding that you want to upgrade things, that you're dealing with the contracts of the home, maybe repairs need doing and things to that degree, or you're beautifying, or you're buying or building, you're looking at the paperwork linking to it, or whatever that means for you. But again, you will get themes of family, relationships, connections, and those three polarities of marriages, contracts, partnerships, and the home domain, plus the emotions. Now, with the Virgo energy, it's trining Uranus and Taurus. Now, it's currently retrograde. So your finances, your hopes and dreams, the delusions, the illusions connected to it. But whatever is transforming, whatever you're working towards, it's for the bigger picture. And look, not all that glistens as gold. Sometimes we can say we can be in a job and it can be giving us $180,000 a year. And I'm just giving an exuberant amount. Yet what you have to do to achieve that, you're living at work. Other people would be living at work and loving it, and it's not about the money they're getting, it's about the spiritual connection, and that's really the Uranian energy. So at a financial level, again, similar. Marriages, contracts, partnerships, finances, tying up loose ends, getting everything sorted, looking at your direct foundation, looking at your home-related environment and communicating. And I'm seeing, I don't know why I keep seeing this month, the devil in the detail coming down to health, work, paperwork, ego, balancing those things out to see the clarity. And I feel it's a little bit like a Venus retrograde because of such elements retrograde. It's causing us to have a huge quality control, looking at the wounds, assessing whether they're relating to it or whether it's a reality of a 3D situation coming through. So we're working through it. Everyone's very tired. Everyone's very triggered, but we're trying to proceed forward. You also will find that with the slow motion, with the constant actions you're going to need to be taking in order to, push forward with dynamics, in interconnections and your emotions. It's also with the Capricorn energy, using things with the Jupiter energy of what's at your direct hand. So it can be selling things, it can be maybe not, looking at the things that are financial level you're spending your money on and fine-tuning it and saying, hey, do I need Netflix? And there's no shade on Netflix. I'm just giving this as an analogy where you're looking at that and going, okay, what do we need? What don't we need? Now, on the 27th, we've only got 3 more to do and then I'll pull cards. On the 27th, we're also going to be having Venus in Cancer, trining, where am I? Venus in Cancer, trining Neptune and Pisces. Now, this will be giving you the tools to be able to achieve some of those hopes and dreams. Also, you will find at a compassionate level, because Venus is in Cancer, it can be you being protective of your marriage, contract, partnership. It can be emotions coming up to do with that. Trining is a turning point. Okay, so it's turning. You're developing it. You're flowing with the energy. You'll have the abilities. Something might also be coming up that is a constant. So yeah, it can be positive, but it can be negative too. But the one thing I will say is, to do with your hopes and dreams, you're going to know what you need to do. Whatever that situation is, it's going to be a shift in it. On the 30th, we're having, so things to do with law, things to do with government. You're going to see things to that degree. But again, it's justice. But, for some of us, it'll be almost like we're dealing with the justice card in reverse. It's how do we bring that justice upright? So you can see a lot of things happening in the collective where people are being unjustly accused, unjustly dealing with people, maybe a bit rash and harsh and brash. It's going to ease up, but some of this, it's just merely showing us where the alignment and the energy and the pain body experiences. So it's some of the things have been permanencies. So it's giving you the epiphany. Other things haven't been so. So it's going to individually link to, hi Sally, where you individually are. But it is a positive energy. So you're going to have the resources to be able to achieve these things to deal with where you want to go. Now, on the 30th, we have Mercury in Virgo in opposition to Neptune. So you'll see what does work, and then a few days later, you're going to see what doesn't work. So just in case you didn't know, you're definitely going to get the clarity. Universe is doing us a favor. She is merely showing us a reality of a situation where our vibration and frequencies are. It's a bit like when you're unwell, like I always say. What do you need when you're unwell? Recuperation, care. Food, water, shelter, essentials. It's down to bare basics. So we're getting down to bare basics. We're dumping the junk in the trunk and we're saying, okay, we've seen this. We lived that vibration. We went into the retrograde. We saw the clarity of situations. We've seen the devil in the detail. Now what do we need to do to move forward? Now for the high frequency, I mentioned I would pull a card with Aries and Chiron. Of what the people that we're dealing with, the energy at a high frequency will be doing. You'll be working through and integrating. It's funny. You're not seeing things from an egoic perspective, and those that were at the lower frequency. Well, that makes sense. Okay, high frequency. It's a knowing, okay? You're not coming from a perspective of ego. So those of you with Aries and Chiron and Neptune and Pisces, both in retrograde, I did mention before, what you're going to have is those of you that have done work on yourselves and you're like, look, I'm going to check myself. Am I triggered as I come? You know this. So you got seeing in reverse, which seeing is third eye. It's egoic. You're like, look, I know when I'm doing this. I'm checking myself, Got to step back, do some integration. Yes, some wounds have come up, and that's for all of us collectively, higher and lower. We all fall into it. The ones that are really stuck would be at that lower frequency at a constant level, really in an egoic state. So you're seeing the polarities between the light and the dark, unfortunately. And we need it in the yin and yang effect to motivate us, to balance us, to help us ascend. So what you will see with people that don't have the tools and can't challenge that adversity inside themselves to say, hey, am I a bit codependent? Am I looking at this from a reality perspective or a delusional perspective? Pisces is 12th house. Now, for those of you in the higher energy of doing work on yourself, you're like, I'm going to trust Source, Gaia, my crown chakra, my ancestors, my guides. I'm going to try and move away from ego. Yes, I know this is my obligation to do the work and not be in attachment. Okay, I'm human. It comes up. I'll be forgiving to myself and doing the best I can. Psychology, so psychic energy, yes, you're following it. You're hearing your psyche. You're working through it. A bit like your own personal nav man, therapist. Yes, if you need it, we need to go. But the lower frequency energy aren't listening to the crown. They're coming more from that distorted side of the fence with Aries and Chiron, victim, perpetrator, it's you, it's not me, denial energy. I will be at the end if I've got time because I've got a supercharged day today. Now, let's pull. Okay, so the ruin we have is this, and later I'll do the Mars energy. I've got a few appointments today. I'm getting back on track. I'm telling you this. I've got a lot of Pluto in my chart, so I'm telling you, paperwork and upgrades. Now, we have this. Apple. Yeah, I was telling my partner this. It's so funny. Some of these ruins, it's like, in a private chat, I can just be really direct about what it says, but other things, obviously, due to super chat, we need to be integral on here. Okay, potency, latent energy, Kundalini. I can't say that word. I could show you the word, but I'm not going to say it. What happens after the act? I'll just say that. Okay, this is what I mean because, Shelley knows what this one is. Fruition, gestation. In the esoteric, Kundalini or serpent power. Intense creative activation. Okay. So if you've had a shift in your Kundalini and you're purging, because really Kundalini can be the energy, the scarred energy coming to a point where it's activated or it merges. Now, at the moment, both yin and yang are getting to a point they're having individual upgrades. So if you're like MIA, it's normal, okay? Even if you're just masculine, feminine, you're in a connection, it doesn't matter who you are on the planet. At the moment, both males and females collectively are doing a lot of soul healing. We're all having that Aries and Chiron placement. We're all having Mars and Aries retrograde in some place in our chart, which we'll talk about in the separate video. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. You can get your updates. What you're going to find is what we're looking at is what we're wanting to create. Now, what we're in fear of is are energies with us or against us? We're seeing that energy. So it's the 3D nature of things we need to look at. It's also very important right now. With Venus in Cancer, I would highly advise inner child wound energy work. So tap into your inner child of creativity. Walking can move that energy. If there's blockages coming up, breathing exercises, meditation. If you can't eat the yellow food groups, you can use gems like citrine and things to that degree. It can be dancing in the moon, but definitely walking, but also meditation. So guided meditation, connecting to that chakra, will balance that frequency out. Now, supercharged energy of fair, balance both the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. Justice energy, if you're feeling something's unjust or somebody's being unjust towards you at the moment, it's attacking of that energy for you. So to balance it, it's really great right now if you do gardening. If you connect in with Mother Nature, get yourself grounded. If you don't have a solution, step away, take a breather, be kind to yourself, for goodness sakes. Go and walk. I've been doing a lot of walking and I missed it. I really missed it. I loved my walking. And it is, yes, it is. Thanks, Swope. Yeah, it's that word down there. That is. It's the birthing canal of life. Okay, so we're trying to rebirth this life. But it's the connection to it. It's planting the seed. It's it coming to fruition. It's almost don't pick the fruit before it's blooming ripe. It's not rocket science. Sometimes when we don't have that movement, we think universe is saying no. No, they're just saying we're doing you a favor, love. The doors are not open yet because rejection is the universe's protection. Try another way. Maybe there's something we needed to learn. Did we not see something effectively? And be in receivership mode. Manifestation is not required. Just it's attachment is you are detached from it as a reality. So in detachment, because I'm trying to teach people detachment, and I was searching for it when I was going through that process. Detachment is you so believe so that it flows. You just don't need to do anything. Anything that is meant to be yours is always going to come to you. It's having faith in that, but it's not even faith. It's not an effort. It's letting go. Does that mean letting go of individuals? No, it's let go. Stop coming through your third eye. It's only because you're healing. You haven't gained enough clarity. You feel the clarity in the egoic experience of control is somehow going to prevent adversity. No. Adversity builds backbone. And it tells us yes or no. I don't want to do that. Why? I don't have to explain myself. I will not do that. Why? I won't do that. Did you hear me? So it's just being really firm. And why do we say no? And why do we fear saying no? And at the moment, masculines are learning the word no. And they're also feeling that they're having to appease and make everyone happy because Jupiter is retrograde. They're assessing back on their movements in life. And this is collectively, not just TF. They're also looking at how hard they've worked and if that's working and if it's in balance. Uranus and retrograde and Taurus is, hey, am I selling my soul to the devil? All work, no play is not balanced. It's not just. It's got to be yin and yang, both emotional and physical. So we're balancing those things and trying to fine tune it because we are coming down to an earth-based reality. We're getting grounded. We're looking at the distortion of what was and wasn't working. What else do I need to tell you? Let's pull some cards. So the serpent energy, what we're trying to bring in. Which deck should I use? Maybe this one. Look, energies. When I look at the soul journey and I look back to mine, because you've got to look at your own path. What did you achieve? What haven't you achieved yet? We're always upgrading. Oh, don't I know that? From a soul transformation point of view, as a human being, in a 5D energy, which is probably 12 and 30D for all we know, you sometimes can feel very foreign, but then you become very egoic. And the egoic energy of what we go through, it's almost like saying, why is my child not speaking now? And then, a sibling looks at you and says, my child's speaking. What's wrong with your child? And then you get offended. We all have our natural growth state. We're all very unique. And it's this expectation we have of you need to get yours together, which is an expectation. It's like you don't want it to be rushed. You want it quality control. You want it done where the person has made peace with it. Otherwise, you are picking a fruit before it's ripe. Why would you do that to yourself? What's the rush? Are you doing something that makes you happy? That is the deepest important thing. With or without the energy of a connection, you at all times must choose to make thyself happy. Nobody outside of you can make you happy. Yes, we want the connection. We want connections. We all interconnect. But they also need to be healthy. Overall energy. Give and take. Give and take energy. Learn. Yes, people are learning. Okay, earth signs. What do we need to know for earth signs? Just say busy building greenhouse. Earth signs. Yes, it can be. I did look at Uranus retrograde for, Taurus, and it was like, oh, that, it is hard because it's first house placement. So, judgment energy in reverse. You are dealing with a situation at the moment where you feel this can be a legality, okay? And for many, yes, there can be major legalities coming up because the energy of marriages, contracts, partnerships is there. There can be paperwork-related dynamics. It could be ending, starting cycles. It can be marriages, divorces, whatever it be, okay? It can be even leaving a job and going to a new one. All of us are moving through that transit. So, yes, whatever you feel is imbalanced and unfair, you guys will be looking at, assessing, and cleaning up by the end of the month. A little bit into the first week, yes, But definitely with the judgment energy, in reverse, you might be doubting certain situations. Follow your intuition. But try not to think. Remember, I told you this month, Aries and Chiron, retrograde, and Neptune in Pisces. Reality, wound. Higher frequency, lower frequency. We're going to all bounce. Some will stay there, right? So for you guys, earth signs, what you need to understand is if there's something you need to do, address it. Don't wait, okay? Because it's coming karmically. And this is for any human being. It's like, something's wrong and you can't deal with it. If the power is on your side of the fence and there's something you need to achieve and you're tired, I understand. Make a list. Gradually tick through. You're going to get there. Because you don't want to fall into the lower frequency of feeling it's all going to be okay when you know that's not true. So if there is something at a 3D level you need to deal with, please deal with it. If you do feel this is on the other side of the fence, there's always the mirror, but don't doubt yourself. Try and trust your intuition of what you need to do. All you can deal with is what is on your side of the fence. If somebody is or isn't working with you, it's on their side. Detach, allow it to flow, because you can literally bring it back to you. Let's see. Air signs. What do we need to know for air signs? What is coming up for air signs during this last 1-2 weeks? Ooh, no. Really? Look. You guys have mastered the lessons of Aries and Chiron and psychology, okay? So Venus is in Cancer. You guys are the Venus energy. So what you're doing is you're looking at it, you're going, I'm not stupid, okay? I'm cognitively viewing a situation. I'm not going to do that again. No. I hear the word no. Marriages, contracts, partnerships. Been there, done that. No. My name is no. My number's no. You've got to let it go. Okay? So whatever this is, you're doing things, you've tried doing things the traditional way. You've tried doing things the non-traditional way. It's like you've gone around the daisy bush and you've seen something differently, whatever it be. So it's like you've changed. You've just been rational with situations. Water signs. What's coming up with you? Water. Ooh. Wow, we said this. Okay, Venus in Cancer, which is a water sign. Pisces. Okay, what I'm going to say is, for you guys that are water signs, don't mess with a water sign, okay? They're soft and gooey on the inside. They may be emotionally charged, but they will defend to the end. It's interesting because this is 7, which is very spiritual in nature. This woman looks pissed. I'm just saying. Like, are you serious? Did you underestimate me? And it's funny because the sticks, it's like 3 little pigs I'm seeing in my head. I'm going to huff and puff and I'm going to blow your house down, which Cancer is the 4th house placement. It's one of the water signs. What you're going to get is protection. Protecting. This can be their finances. It can be cleaning up their home, renovating, decorating. Can be protecting themselves, feeling overprotective, and just really having an integration and an upgrade for both males and females. Could be home-related dynamics as well. Let's see. Okay. Fire. I have to think about it then. Fire signs. What's coming up for fire signs, please? Now, if you're wanting a booking, you can go to the link below with the limited spaces I have at the moment. But otherwise, click subscribe should you wish to. 9 of Swords. Deep reflection. It's funny because, look, you guys currently have the energy, Aries, you're there, you're looking at things and you're like, okay, this is up in your head energy, I'm saying. I'm hearing a song. All the things you said running through my head. Can't remember what the song is. But it's like deep, reflective energy. 9 is what do I need to complete? It's reaching a completion point. It's reaching a pivotal point. And really, with all the astrology I mentioned at the beginning of this, it's really heavy to the point where we can't be in our ego. The writing's on the wall. It's like looking at it going, oh, heck, okay. Wow, this is what it really is. And you're kind of looking at it going, darn, we're going to have to address this situation individually within ourselves and externally, however it directly relates. This is collective energy. So I'd say for earth signs, please don't second guess yourself. Step back, observe, watch. Air signs, you're not stupid. I'm just saying, you're not stupid. You're seeing something, you're dealing with it, you're tackling things. But again, you may be looking at, again, marriages, contracts, partnerships, all of us are collectively. We're also looking at home changes. Plus, because we had the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, the one theme I'm really seeing coming up with my clientele is that some energies are coming back because we were to move towards the North Node of Capricorn and move away from, theoretically, Cancer, the South Node. Now, most of that at a collective level, we all individually have the houses per zodiac sign, but at a collective level, it was family, home, tribe, our emotions. We got comfortable there. So to develop it, we had that there and moved over to the energy of Capricorn, which is establishing oneself, leveling up, having to take ownership of situations, cleaning up a mess, all of those things. Now what I'm saying is there are, even though we've had the nodes shift into Sagittarius and Gemini, old themes with any aspect that's being made to Cancer, which will be there, Cancer and Capricorn till the end of the year, it's still very educational, transformative, and we have to really address things and continue to move forward. So you can see unresolved situations coming up that need addressing, that need cleaning up, that need balancing, truces, etc., or however you wish to deal with it. But I have seen major themes with my clientele where those old subjects to do with the nodes are coming up, and it's kind of looking like the South Node was kind of ignored to a degree. So these old things are coming up to be really balanced out. Okay, 3 cards, please, and I will then answer some questions. Telling you, 4th house placement, things from the past. How are we looking at this? Okay, we had a plan. We're moving forward. What's it going to be? Okay, we got more than 3. Okay, egoic, feeling silly. Why didn't we say this? Gosh, I wish we'd created the foundation. Didn't see that situation coming. And it's funny, the 5 of Pentacles has come out like this. What do we, don't we do? We didn't see it. Okay. Maybe we were silly. Maybe we didn't say something. Now we're saying it. It's a huge assessment. That's what I'm saying. This Leo energy will give you the energy to move forward. It's having to put the crown on. It's having to level up and deal with the adversity. It's having to tap into your masculine frequency. I mean, at the moment, collectively, what you'll find is in the yin and yang polarity, it's like crickets. But not crickets. Crickets from the domains of where you want to hear, because you're meant to meditate and integrate. Having to look inside yourself, maybe a bit of projectile energy. Can be even blast from the past, but, this can be friendships. This can be, also at the moment with the Virgo energy, you could be hearing of people becoming unwell. And I don't mean connected to what's going on in the collective. Yes, it can. But Virgo relates to health as well. So if you have been healing energies of that, be it changing your diet, be it looking at health, you're doing things to that degree. You're hearing that someone has been unwell and you haven't heard from them in a while. It's bringing you back to talk. 8th house, not 8th house, Aries and Chiron. Yeah, fixing those things. Any questions before I love you and leave you? Because I have some appointments to go to shortly. Any questions in the house? And I'm sorry it's been so long. I've been like lots of clients, lots of bookings, lots of pre-records and things. And then the internet was down the other day. I was like, good grief, changing providers. Most welcome, Sharon. I hope this has helped. I hope this has prepared you guys for the rest of this month. Try and get your crystals. You will see me soon, sweet. Third eye, yes, it can be coming up. So clear your third eye if you can. Drink your fluid as well for the crown, but don't. And, you know, when you're coming to diet, be very careful. Do things gradually. When I was nursing years ago, because I was talking to Antonella the other day, you know, if you're getting the migraines and you've gone and had a detox, you always have to be super cautious with caffeine, because if you do come off it, you're going to have mass headaches. You won't be able to see like this. Exactly. It'll be like, and I had a client that came off caffeine and it was too quick. I mean, she was a European lady and she was drinking short blacks and things to that degree, which don't have the same side effects as standard caffeine, because they're more clean in the way they're produced, but they're very strong. So going from that strong caffeine to zero will create a headache. I need to give up cigarettes. Do it gradually. Or do something that can keep you busy. I find when you're busy, you can do that. It's even great when you got the flu. You're like, sod this. I gave up when I was on holiday with my mother. I love your mum, but that was not fun. So I went back to it in 2 weeks. I was like, sod this. You're giving me tension. I was going through all the tattoo studios in New Zealand. I was like, where's a lighter? And I do not promote it, okay? But yes, from a holistic point of view, health, communication, things to that degree will come up. Citrine can help balance that. Research it. Anywho, I'm going to love this and leave you. So if you do want a booking or you care to donate, feel free to. I appreciate it. And I will be back a little bit later. Keep an eye on the community tab. I'll give you a heads up when the next one is. And yes, I will be actually doing another twin flame update, as well as I do want to do the Mars by element of how it's going to affect each zodiac sign inside the element. And I will go zodiac by zodiac, but I'll mention it connected to the element, talk about it, maybe pull a few cards, have a brief chit chat, prepare you for it. Maybe even talk about your chakra system. So stay tuned and I will see you all soon. Thanks, guys.